Howdy, listeners. This is your host, Random Nerd, on the Critical Thinking Nerd podcast. This is the year-long positive masculinity series where we talk about identity and virtue and what it really means to be a good man in a loud, chaotic world. We've talked about who you are when no one's watching and what happens when anger runs the show. Episode 6, Part 1, we're shifting to something a lot of men don't admit out loud. Anxiety. Overthinking, that background hum of I'm not enough and I'm not ready. The silent weight men carry. Anxiety in men doesn't always look like panic attacks. Often it looks like constant worst-case thinking about money, work, or the future. Tight chest when checking emails, bank accounts, or messages. Irritability and snapping at people because your brain never shuts off. Escaping into games, scrolling, porn, or projects just to avoid feeling it. And because real men are supposed to be unbothered, a lot of guys feel like they're failing just by feeling worried. Questions. When you lie down at night, what does your brain default to? Regret about the past, fear of the future, or both? Who, if anyone, knows how loud it really gets in your head? Segment 2. Control versus concern. A classic Stoic distinction: what is in my control, what is not in my control. Most anxiety comes from mixing those up, things you can't fully control. Whether the economy crashes, whether other people like you stay or leave, whether someone else acts right. Things you can influence or control: your effort and honesty at work, your spending, saving, skill building, your communication, boundaries, and responses. Anxiety loves to drag your attention toward things you cannot grab. Calm comes from bringing your focus back to things you can actually move. Questions. List 3 things you're currently anxious about. Which parts of each are in your control and which parts are not? How many times are you spending mentally on what you can't move versus what you can? Here's something on faith to think on. If there is someone bigger than you who actually does hold the uncontrollable pieces, then your job isn't to be God, it's to be faithful with the part that is yours. Even just considering that can lower the pressure a notch. Segment 3. Overthinking versus preparedness. Men often confuse overthinking with being responsible. Preparedness: I've counted the cost, made a plan, now I'm acting. Overthinking: I'm replaying the same fears with no new action, hoping that eventually it'll be safe. Overthinking feels productive, but usually delays necessary decisions, exhausts you before you even start, makes you more likely to bail because you've already lived the failure 50 times in your head. Question. Is your thinking leading to concrete decisions and actions, or just more thinking? What's one decision you've been circling for weeks without moving? Segment 4. Simple Stoic tools for a busy mind. 3 practical tools. 1. The what's in my hand list. Each morning, write down 3 things you can control or influence that day. List 3 things you cannot control that day. Consciously release the second list. Focus your energy on the first. 2. Premeditatio malorum, but with action. Briefly imagine a realistic worst-case scenario, not wild catastrophes, just real risks. Then ask, if that happened, what could I do? What can you do now to reduce the chance or impact of that? This turns fear from a monster into a problem to be planned around. 3. The shutdown ritual. Set a nightly time, about 30 minutes to 60 minutes before you sleep, where you turn off email and work messages. Write down any remaining to-dos for tomorrow or any remaining thoughts. Read something calming, pray, or reflect. If you're open to that, then let the day end. If you believe in God, that last part can become, you've done your part today. The rest is in your hands. If not, it can still be, you've done what you can. Tomorrow you'll do your part again. Segment 5. 7-day calm challenge. For the next 7 days, each morning ask, what 3 things are in your control that day? Write them down. 2. Each morning ask, did you act on those 3 items? Or did you spend more time worrying about what you can't touch? 3. Pick one overthinking loop and set a deadline. By X date, you will either make this decision or intentionally delay it for a clear reason. If you're open to faith at all, you can also ask each night, if there is a God who's not panicked about my life, but what might he be less worried about than I am? You don't have to answer, but the question alone can interrupt the spiral. In closing, this is episode 6, part 1, Anxiety, Overthinking, and Calm for Men. Not to say don't worry, but to give you a way to stop letting worry drive your life. In episode 6, part 2, we're going to talk to the ladies about their side of anxiety, how expectations, comparison, and fear of loss drive their overthinking, and how they can move toward a more grounded, truthful calm. Until then, stay reflective, stay grounded, and when the mental noise gets loud, ask, what's in your hand today? And what do you need to finally put down? If you found this episode meaningful, please continue to listen to my next episode as I dive deeper and research further to share my knowledge with you. Thank you.